Well, hello guys, welcome back to another episode of Everyday EDC. My name is Tyler, and today we're going to be reviewing the Hogue Microflip. Alright guys, so the Hogue Microflip, this first and foremost is the very first Hogue knife that I've ever had, and despite what happens in this review, I will tell you this inspired me to go out and get the Hogue Sig Sauer, or the K320, which is easily, in my opinion, the best user knife for the price, and this is my point of diminishing returns. But we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about the Microflip. The reason that I may not like this knife, but I wanted more Hogues after this knife, is that the build quality of Hogue is absolutely insane. Everything on this knife feels tight and very well thought out. Now, you have some milling. These are aluminum handles. I'm going to guess 6061 aircraft grade, high silicon, high magnesium content. That's basically what 6061 means. It's a 6000 series aluminum. Coming from an aluminum guy, you could trust that. I'm not a steel guy. I understand steels, but I understand aluminum better. I worked in the industry, ran melt shops. This is a 6061 high silicon, high magnesium content series. That's about it. Easy to mill, a little bit harder. So we do have a pocket clip that is recessed in there, so that's nice. And on the other side, it is ambidextrous, and this truly is an ambidextrous knife due to the locking mechanism, to an extent. But this does have a cover plate there. We have some nice milling on the aluminum, some chamfering and scalloping, if you will. Right there, it's more of a scallop than a chamfer going around. We have a lock right here that you cannot lock it closed, but you can lock it open. So not quite sure why that exists, but it does. We have a captive pivot going on here. And then we have a G10 or FRN. I think this is more close to FRN backspacer, but it looks cool between the aluminum. I like it. Might even be aluminum with the texturing. Nah, there's a seam. It looks like it was molded of some sort. Not really sure how, though. Okay, so not too much hardware. Most Hogues are notorious for their hardware. You got one right there, and then some captives right there, and then right there. Not captives, but for the cover plate. This is a flipper that you kind of have to get used to the flipping action. It has a strong detent, but that detent resides inside this push button lock. Now, to break the push button lock, you can go like that. When I first got it, it wasn't as broken in as it is. As you can tell, the action's pretty good now, so I'll give that a pass. Now, as far as the closing action, it is weird. If you've never felt a Hogue button lock before, you gotta get used to it because it has to go over where the detent resides, and it gets real stuck. Most detents will suck it in, and then this will go, it's like taking pressure. Okay, so you can flip it shut if you hold the button and you give it a nice hard flick. You can get used to that. That's all right. It's just different. I'm not going to call it bad. It's different. It's something you got to get used to. They really did their sharpening choil very well right here. The plunge grind stops about 3/4 the way up the sharpening choil, and then they continued with this flat grind, and then they have a little swedge going on here and some jimping going on there. You kind of have to grab it right here, or you can choke up, but your fingers resting a little bit on the blade, so I don't recommend that. But that jimping is relatively functional. And this is a nice little Wharncliffe-ish blade with a slight belly. So it's hard to call it a true Wharncliffe, such as maybe your QSP Penguin. But it is a Wharncliffe nonetheless, in my opinion, with just a tiny little belly. 154 CM, or CPM 154, sorry, and an Elisowitz design. This knife is coming in at $130. Hogue is another reason why I'm obsessed with Hogue, is their build quality is probably the best for the price in the sub 200 category for US manufacturers. Their build quality is just through the freaking roof. It blows Benchmade out of the water. It blows Spyderco out of the water. The only other one is the Kershaw's, the Launch series, but that's not really a comparison here, right? I'm not talking all Kershaw's. I'm talking the Launch series in particular. But Yeah, for U.S. manufacturing sub $200, this is probably the best value in quality and materials that you're going to find. Now, for the bad. This thing is uncomfortable. There's no hot spots. I have no room. It's a 3-finger knife, but the problem with that is I don't have a problem with too many 3-finger knives. The problem with it is it's like you have to put your fingers here, A, and B, if I try to squeeze my pinky in, it's like, see where the knife's at right there? So that's a thing. But this knife screams hard use. So like the handle and everything, it just screams like, oh yeah, this thing's gonna blast through some stuff. I'm gonna go take this out and this is like a construction knife if it were a 1/2 of an inch longer. These ergonomics, and I have narrow fingers, so anybody with some fat fingers, you're gonna have trouble with this guy. This irritates the hell out of me. But that being said, if this knife either didn't try to be as hard to use as it is, because like I said, this screams hard use. Maybe for children under the age of 15 and females, this is a really, really nice hard use knife, and there's no condescension meant in that statement. But for males, even with narrow hands, I don't have fat hands. I have fat knuckles because I broke them several times growing up. But the hand width is not too wide. You're going to have trouble getting your whole fingers on here. And it makes me mad just because it's such a good design that if it was a little bit larger, I could fall in love with this knife. I don't know if they have a larger version. I'll keep my eyes open and somebody educate me if they do. But yeah, there's that. So as I said, price coming in right around 130 bucks. Let's get you guys some specs. This is going to be a relatively lightweight knife because it is made out of aluminum. Aluminum being one of the most light, strong metals. Aluminum has one of the best strength to weight ratios. This is coming in at 2.28 ounces. And that's going to give you a good blade length to weight ratio. 2.28 ounces. That's right. I think my bug out with titanium scales weighs more than that right now. Oh, wait. Hold on. I got to go tear that out. Tear, son of a bitch. Maybe it wasn't. That was 2.65 ounces. Sorry about that, guys. I'm glad I brought this back out. Yeah, my bug out still weighs more with the titanium scale, so it's still pretty damn light. Let's get you guys total length. Overall length of this guy's coming in right at about 6.5 inches. Your blade length's coming in right at about 2.5 inches, maybe a little bit closer to 2.6 to give it that blade length to weight ratio perfection. And your cutting edge is coming in just shy of 2.5 inches. We're like amping ourselves up as we're talking about this thing. All right, so blade stock thickness, relatively thin, coming in at 118 thousandths, and that means that you're going to have a really good slicing capability with the 15 thousandths behind the edge on this guy. That's what I mean. This design is so good. It makes me mad that it's like not for me, I guess. All right, so the overall height is coming in at 1.15 inches. That's fairly average for knives. And then your overall width is coming in at 0.44 inches. So that's going to make it a little bit thinner than most knives. A little bit, it's about the same thickness, or height, I should say. And your blade length and blade stock, your blade stock and your behind the edge are pretty damn narrow. So this, like I said, this thing screams perfection when it comes to like a perfect ratio of blade stock thickness to behind the edge, to CPM 154 being a relatively tough steel but easy to use. You know, you have this lock right here that is what it is, not a big deal. All right, this thing, clearly this thing's polarizing because it's kind of throwing off my rhythm of reviewing. Here it is next to the Civivi Elementum and Civivi Praxis. Obviously your Elementum's still coming in longer. Let's get you next to the one that some guys tried to get me to get this knife to dethrone my Launch 10. And if I'm going to get a knife that doesn't give me 4-finger grip, it's going to be this one. And to be honest, my 4-finger grip I'm using it like this 90% of the time. That's what I mean. Like, if you're going to go small, go small. If you're going to go full size, go full size. That's my frustration there. Let's give you guys a pretty good competitor right there in your QSP Penguin and your Benchmade Bug Out. Let's see here. I usually pick knives to compare against, and I really didn't on this one. All right, so here is your EMP Nimble. Let's go with a little oddball here. This is your Gerber, what is that? Razzlecliffe. All right, and the Razzlecliffe is another thing. Like, so it's not meant to be a full-size knife. I can, you know, I don't know. It's frustrating. It doesn't make it a bad design. I just feel like it wasn't designed for me, and I guess that makes me selfishly mad. So overall, for $130, am I getting a good deal? You're getting CPM 154. You're getting a very high quality design with decent action and very solid construction. This thing is built to last virtually forever. It is built to do a lot of hard use tasks if you have smaller, thinner hands. Can I recommend it for $130 for those of you with smaller, thinner hands that like it? Absolutely. It is a fantastic knife. This is a fantastic blade shape for knocking out a lot of tasks to do like that. And like I said, it's designed and the feel in hand. If my hand was just without the pinky, if this is all I had, I feel like you can really use this guy to its maximum potential. But you need smaller hands to do it. Is it worth the price? Absolutely. If you like the small knives, if you like that feel, if you don't need a 4-finger grip, this is the knife for you. I think this is a very, very well-designed knife, and I have very little to complain about other than the size. It does have a locking mechanism, so you can lock it in the open position for your own sanity. Not really sure what purpose that serves, maybe so you don't press the button. But even if you're pressing the button, like I don't know, it drops. But it's not, like, dangerous, and I don't think, unless your fingers are there and you push in. Maybe that's what it's for. I guess that kind of makes sense. If I'm doing this, and I'm down here, and then it drops on me, and then I'm pushing in, I guess that safety makes sense. Maybe. I don't know. That's all I got for you guys today. This is the Hogue Microflip, or what do they call it on this side? It's an Elishewitz design. It is the XM1-motherfucker. XM1-MF. Made in the USA, made by Hogue. While I don't think this knife is for me, it opened my eyes to the rest of Hogue, and I love it for that. My name is Tyler. This is Everyday EDC. You guys stay sharp, stay safe, and have a great friggin' rest of your day. Thanks for watching, guys.
Hey guys, if you liked what you saw, don't forget to subscribe. Also, don't forget to hit that like button and/or leave a comment. The whole reason this channel was created was to interact with you guys and just share the love of knives. So until next time, you guys stay sharp, stay safe, and have a great freaking rest of your day. Thanks for watching.